Atiku and Obi have come out to say that Tinubu's government is a tyrannical government, a government of dictatorship that is worse than Abacha and also worse than Buhari. Nobody ever expected that a product from the south would be this worse. A product from the south. Nobody expected that Tinubu would be behaving like a tyrant, even though he claimed that they fought for democracy. An example is the arrest of NLC chairman Joe Ajero. Atiku went further to say that this government has shown signs that it is not democratically elected, which means he's not being supported by the people. Nigerians did not vote for Tinubu. That is why he's behaving like this. The world is watching. You see, one thing Tinubu's government administration is going to do to the Yoruba people is that it's going to damage the image, damage the way Nigerians see the Yorubas, whether you like it or not. If you see the actions of Tinubu, we expected that Tinubu will be different from Buhari, but yet he's becoming much more worse than Buhari. Now, you want to instill fear in the minds of the people, not to criticize a government. And some people from the southwest are supporting the infringement on the rights of the people. When you look at tweets supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu and gaslighting Nigerians, it is from a particular section of the country. Don't tell me at the end of the day when Nigerians will kick back at that section of the country, don't tell me that I spoke against the Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For instance, how were the Igbos hated? What made Nigerians start hating Igbos? After Nzogo and the rest of the officers carried out that attack on leaders in Nigeria, and whatever happened that they did not kill some Igbo leaders, Nigerians started seeing the Igbos as people not to be trusted with power. It lasted for a number of years and generations. It lasted for over 40 years that these Nigerian elites, whatever construct they find themselves, would not trust Igbos with power. Let me tell you, Nigerians are afraid that an Igbo man becomes president. Igbo man holds power again. They believe that Igbos are domineering, are dominating. When they get to a place, they dominate you and can make them slaves. They are afraid of the prowess, the intelligence, the ingenuity of the Igbo man. That is why you see people are afraid. Omoibo, Omoibo. I was in a bus. People were complaining bitterly about the petrol increase in price and how things are skyrocketing day by day. How they will go to the market today, it will be a certain price, and the next day it will increase to another price. So people were complaining. One lady said she can't send her children to school anymore. But when the driver said that we would have voted Obi, they now had to change and said no to Obi. So they preferred that Tinubu put them in that situation and they die in hunger than an Obi coming probably to make them live and their children live better lives. You can see that hatred in them did not start today. It was passed from one generation to another because of the activities of a supposed Igbo man in the 60s, which is Nzogo and other people. The perceived action, intention of these Igbo people, they feel they are proud and they are domineering. This is the same thing that is going to happen to the Yorubas with Tinubu and some of these actions. Already the Fulanis have been cancelled in Nigeria. Wherever you see a Fulani, you see him as a threat, whether he's a Christian or a Muslim. People don't live in peace with the Fulanis. In fact, if there's a Fulani in this area, people try to ostracize themselves from these Fulanis because of what some of their political leaders and what some of their people have done over the years. You can see the trend. Now it is the turn of the Yorubas. Tinubu becoming president would send a lot of signal to Nigerians on who Yorubas are. Because I said it before that I don't see Tinubu as a Yoruba president. I don't see him as somebody who is representing the Yorubas. I was born in Lagos. I'm repeating it. I know what Omoluabi means. I know some of the virtues of the Omoluabi I don't see any of these virtues in a Tinubu. I don't see. Is it respect? No, one thing about respect is that respect should be reciprocal. It is not respect that you do with manipulation and you do it with, you are trickish. You are just respecting somebody just to bring him down. No, is that's the respect Tinubu has. You're respecting somebody so as to get something bigger, so as to bring the person down. No. Omoluabi has virtues, and these virtues is not found in Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but yet some unfortunate people, Yoruba Ronus, have come out to associate themselves with the person, which is going to really affect a long time, just like the Igbos have been seen in Nigeria, not to be given power, don't allow these guys get the presidency. It is real. The Igbophobia is real, just because of some actions of very few people that took decisions on their own. Igbos have cancelled and Azikiwe, Igbos have cancelled most of their leaders because they don't represent the interest. But they looked beyond that. Other tribes in Nigeria doesn't want to care whether Nnamdi Azikiwe or Nzogu was doing things according to their own belief system or what they wanted to achieve. They were not doing it on behalf of the tribe they belong to. Nobody wants to know. But yet, they are cancelling Igbos left, right, center. No wonder the subjugation, no wonder the limitation, the gang up by the north and west against the Igbos because of that action. Now, the Fulanis have the same, treatment because of what their leaders and what some of their people have done. So very few people come out to do some things and the whole tribe is cancelled. Now, it is very difficult for you to find yourself in the same space with a Fulani man. People don't want to see a Fulani man in their environment. They become a threat. Even though they might not be a threat, they become automatically a threat, looking at the atrocities that has been committed by their brothers. No amount of preaching by any Fulani person, whether the person is a Christian, no amount of preaching will make people take it off their minds that the Fulanis are a threat in every community they find themselves. When you see Fulani headers in the southeast, it is just like let heaven just fall upon them and let them disappear. The plan is to make a Fulani man disappear because of the havoc that they caused, especially under a Buhari. So the Igbos have been cancelled for a long time. The Fulani have been cancelled also. It is now the turn of the Yorubas. Those people attaching the Yoruba image to a Tinubu, you are making a very, very big mistake. And that mistake is going to haunt you at the end of the day. Remember, with rigging elections, first and second time, Tinubu is going to spend 8 years. And after 8 years, let us see, with all the things that the Yorubas have defended under this government. If I'm saying Yorubas, I'm not saying all Yorubas. See, let me tell you one thing. Not all Igbos are supporting the actions of Azikiwe, actions of their leaders then. But yet, he reached everybody, hand touch every single person. Because of an action of Nzogu, in quote, because I don't believe that history, it was the Yoruba media that took over the information space then. So they could find ways to push a propaganda against the Igbo people like they are doing now. We just thank God for the advent of social media. If not, if we just relied on the traditional media, we have been told a lot of lies. A lot of lies are being debunked by those that are in charge of the media. Imagine what a TVC, an AIT or NTA, just as major TV stations will be telling you as a Nigerian, how they will set the agenda for the news, just to put your focus in a certain direction and divert it from the reality and the truth and the facts. We just thank God for social media. As if social media was then. There was social media then. We wouldn't be where we are today. So some people will not just come out and say it's an Igbo queue. Having said that, an Igbo queue, as they termed it, as they named it, is affecting the whole Igbos. go to parastatals, go to government agencies, you see, they prefer who they prefer, but not the Igbo man. You randomly see these Igbo guys in these agencies, except in NAFDAC. Intentionally, they sideline the Igbos. Now it is the turn of the Fulani. Every Southerner that has a position, an opportunity at governance, will want to remove the Fulani from his government because they believe that these guys mean no well for Nigeria. They all want to look at you, destroy you, and take over your land. That is the idea. When you see a Fulani man in your area, in your community, that is what comes to your mind. So now it is happening with the Yorubas. Tinubu is going to cause a big damage on the image and integrity of the Yoruba people. Like I said, I know what Omoluabi stands for, and Tinubu does not come close to Omoluabi. There might be unfortunate people on this broadcast that might want to say one or two things, but what I'm saying is the truth. I'm more or less a Yoruba person than even an Igbo person. So if you want to go to that route, I lived up my life in the Southwest. I seldom go to my place, the village. I seldom, maybe 3, 4, 5 times. So I understand what I'm saying. I understand that people in reality do not support the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many Yorubas that I know, many Southwesterners I know, do not support. It is the unfortunate ones. And when you look at those unfortunate ones, you see that they are supporting Tinubu because of a kind of virus that is in their system. I told somebody yesterday that you are hating on Igbo, or okay, you are Igbo hating on Yoruba, you are Yoruba hating on Igbo, you are Igbo hating on Fulani or Hausa, you are Hausa hating on Yoruba and Igbo. When Nigeria divides, it does not take that hate away from you. When Nigeria is separated, it does not take away that hate from you. That hate will find a way to express himself. You start expressing that hate on your family members. You see, the Yorubas come together and say, Igbo should go. There was a Modakeke and Ife war between Yoruba people. Afonja fought against his people. So you are having hatred for an Igbo person now does not mean that it is exclusively for that Igbo person. It's just that that is an excuse of spewing your hatred, of showing the hatred in you. If an Igbo person is not there, the hatred, the demon that is in you that is bigotry will find a way to express him or herself. You can start expressing it to your fellow Yoruba people. You get what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, Yorubas will be cancelled after Tinubu. If he spend 8 years, maybe by rigging, if he spend 8 years, after 8 years, what next? You think that anybody wants to do anything with a Yoruba person politically? You see, in every agency, every parastatal, you see, a Yoruba person being there, I'm sorry if I'm using the word Yoruba. I'm trying to drive a point. I told you that Yorubas did not support Tinubu. They did not support him. They will not support him. Worst come to worst, there will be voter empathy in Lagos. People will not see any need to come and vote Tinubu, thereby giving them chance to come and manipulate whatever they can do to make sure he wins in Lagos. People are not ready to come out and stress themselves to vote. Even though you empower them, it's not going to be enough for them to want to come out and stress themselves to vote. I know that monies will fly out through the elections, but the Yorubas do not support Tinubu. In fact, if there's an Oduduwa today, Tinubu is not a candidate that will be considered. They will tell him, go and relegate yourself, sit down, use your money that you have stolen from Nigeria, and support or build projects as a father, not as someone that would pilot the effects, not even as somebody that will become a godfather in Yoruba land. To tell you what I mean, like it happened to Igbos. Not all Igbos subscribe to what Nzogo and Co and Azikiwe was doing, but it touched them. It was Igbo coup. They didn't say it's Nzogo coup. They say Igbo. So that was what the media then termed it. So if I'm using the word Yoruba, I know what I'm saying. Very few Yorubas are tarnishing the image of the Yoruba race, the Yoruba nation. I'm telling you how people see the Yorubas now. You see, with all this Maradona that Tinubu is playing, sack this one, put a Southwesterner, sack this one, put a Southwesterner, sack this one. A Northerner once said that all these people that Tinubu is installing, putting in power, it just takes a meeting to dismantle all these people. Okay, maybe 2007 he does not return, and a Northerner becomes the president. He will sack them now. He will remove them and put. That will be a cycle. And when he removes them, remember, North and South shares this rotational presidency. North and South. So, if a Southerner is going to come after the North, it will not be a Yoruba person. No, it will not be. Because Tinubu's regime has said a lot about what people may see, or as not. I don't use the word. He has said a lot about Yoruba people because he's not a Yoruba person, but he has given a lot of bad reputation to the Yoruba people. People don't want to join Yoruba in any political alliance anymore. You see, the North is flirting with the Southeast because they know that a Southeasterner, if he supports you, stands with you gidigbam to the end. But a Southwesterner is likely to betray you. They are likely to betray you at any point in time. They are likely to abandon you. Look at what's happening in Labour Party. Apapa Haramabi and Co. Now it's Abure. They have joined together just to fight P2B and its emergence. To what end? That's the question I always ask. What do you aim to achieve with fighting a P2B? What do you aim? The most important things, you are not focusing on the most important things like the APC people do. They are influencers. The country is going down on shambles. They are not focusing on the policies of the government affecting Nigerians. That is, Nigerians are going to bed hungry. They're not focused on that. That's not their problem. Their problem is a P2B. Whatever P2B says, whatever solution it prefers to the government. If P2B criticizes the government from the Southwest, they'll just pack themselves and start saying all sort of things. So it will be very hard. Even people that have Yorubas in their cabinets, they will want to be looking at them like, under Tinubu's regime, these people did a lot of things. Though. These people, their true color came out. They now show us why they say they are unstable. Yorubas have also attested to that. The instability or unstableness of a Yoruba man. So I'm not denigrating anybody. I'm just saying that the way Buhari gave the Fulani a baddest name, how Fulanis are being treated all over the world. The way Nzogo and Co. gave Igbos a bad name, how Igbos are being treated in Nigeria till today, irrespective of the fact that the truth was neglected and they were carrying out propaganda. That is the way Tinubu is going to destroy the image of Yoruba people. So after 2031, if he spent 8 years, what next for the Yoruba people? Would you come online and start criticizing a government? Even though you are a Yoruba person and you really did not support Tinubu, nobody will care. It is a trend. It happens to Igbos, happens to Fulani. It's happening and going to happen to Yoruba people. So enjoy while it lasts. Nigeria is going to outlive, if Nigeria stays together, it's going to outlive anybody. Igbo nation is going to outlive anybody. Nobody can say they will put an end to genocide or whatever. The Yoruba people are going to outlive anybody. The Hausa and Fulani, they are going to outlive anybody. If you like, give Yorubas a bad name. Let people see the Yorubas as people that are not trusted fellows. Even in business now, it will be very hard for you to start giving some people benefit of doubt. For instance, now if I start a project or I start a political movement, I will be very, very concerned if I have a Yoruba or Fulani person in my cabinet because of some of the experiences we are seeing. How Yorubas can just turn within 24 seconds against you. Look at Okupe, DG of Labour Party, how he just changed everything. How he just, everything just turned upside down. Imagine. Well, it's unfortunate. Atiku have come out to say that this regime is tyrannical. It's much. It is nothing to write. See, Tinubu disgraced the Southwest and Yorubas. This is not the best that can come out from the Southwest. The Southwest can do better more than 10, 100 times. But yet, people that are supposed to know better, because of they want to hold on to power, are bringing out the worst of them, and the worst of them is going to give them a bad name. It's going to destroy their image, which can endure for decades.